Live from the SEP Video Studio in Northwest Florida, it's Late Night Talk with Jamie Settle.
Hey, and welcome to Late Night. I'm Jamie Settle, and I'm streaming live at Late Night Talk JS on Facebook and YouTube at SEPTV HD. During the show, feel free to leave comments, and I'll be happy to give you a shout out live on this show. Join in on the conversation and give out your thoughts. Interested in a certain topic or want to talk about something? Send a comment as well. Just be yourself, and I'll be myself, and we'll get to it. Now, of course, we've got a topic all on our minds this month. Is the power bill crisis. And so, why are people's power and utility bills going sky high? That's a question several are asking, as well as what can be done about it. I'm reaching out to you to see what you think about the transition from Gulf Power to Florida Power and Light. What are you doing to cut down costs? Have you spoken to Florida Power and Light? I've seen on Facebook several people posting their power bills and estimates, and I thought about doing more on this topic in the week to come. What would you like to know if I can find out some answers for you? Please, please let me know. Well, that's food for thought. So what do you think? Give a comment and let me know, and we can discuss it. And so I want to be able to find some answers and even get some people interviewed. So if you're watching and you want to get interviewed and talk about it, let me know, and we'll get to that. So definitely something to think about. Now, of course, something fun that we all probably love to eat is graham crackers. And so we're going to talk about why were the graham crackers invented. Yes, that sweet cracker that is made from flour, salt, oil, lard, and molasses was actually inspired by Sylvester Graham. Graham, not the cracker, but the person, was an American Presbyterian minister and a dietary reformer known for his emphasis on vegetarianism, the temperance movement, and eating whole grain bread. Graham encouraged the creation of the famous plain snack with the intention of tempering people's sexual desires. He believed that following a healthy, plant-based diet devoid of pleasure and stimulation was how God intended humans to live. This diet was grounded in the use of bread made from coarsely ground wheat at home. So a little bit more fact that you can carry with you and share with others. Well, of course, we've got the Florida man back in town. Of course, this was from last September in Okaloosa County. So this guy right here, what a lovely guy. The guy to the left of your screen, that is. A Florida man who went on a vandalism spree says he did it because Trump owes him $1 trillion. 30-year-old Justin Wilson caused nearly $30,000 in damages after smashing the windows of at least 20 cars in the parking lot of a Holiday Inn resort in Okaloosa. According to witnesses, Wilson beat the cars with rocks and a belt. When deputies arrived, the Florida man was found passed out on a bench at the resort. When they woke him up, Wilson told them, "Take me to jail. I did it because Donald Trump owes me $1 trillion and these vehicles belong to the mafia." Don't know where that came from, but anyhow, he was taken to jail on a $31,000 bond and faces 14 counts of felony criminal mischief as well as 6 misdemeanor charges. Wow. Okay, well, there's Florida man for you. And so, I can never tell what Florida man's going to do next. But anyhow, it's time for our late night pets. And so this is actually a pet of mine. And so let's see if we got the right one. Yeah, I want to introduce to you Minnie. Minnie is almost 12 years old, and she is a domestic short hair cat. And so we have many more cats in our household. And so here she is in the laundry service basket. How fun. And you know, if you're watching TV, you may have seen a new show come up, which actually I think takes place of Judge Judy's spot. And so she has retired, and I haven't been much into watching court shows or anything like that. When I was young, it was the People's Court with Judge Wapner. And so I didn't really watch that either. I just watched it from time to time. I was a kid, so I didn't really know what was going on there. But anyhow, I was watching a couple episodes the other day of Judge Steve Harvey. And so, you know, Steve Harvey is Family Feud's host, and he's host of several other shows of his as well. And so you'd never think that he would be a judge on TV, or anyone would call him a judge. But as I watched it, it was pretty interesting, and I'm sure he's got a load of people that are guiding him and giving him advice and making sure that he makes the legal decisions, even if, I mean, it's a TV show. It could be just a whole farce made up, but it's entertaining, and I think he does a good job at getting down to the bottom of things, and very fair so far. I've only watched like 3 episodes, but what do you think about Steve Harvey being a judge? He doesn't wear the robes or anything. He just wears his suit, and so he doesn't want to wear those robes either. So, yeah, well, to each his own, you know. But we've got a fascinating story here that I want to share. I want you to meet Methuselah. That's the fish in the aquarium there. Methuselah, the oldest living aquarium fish. The fish that likes to eat fresh figs, get belly rubs, and is believed to be the oldest living aquarium fish in the world. In the Bible, Methuselah was Noah's grandfather and was said to have lived to be 969 years old. Methuselah, the fish, is not quite that ancient, but biologists at the California Academy of Sciences believe it is about 90 years old with no known living peers. Methuselah is a 4-foot, 40-pound Australian lungfish that was brought to the San Francisco Museum in 1938 from Australia. No stranger to publicity, Methuselah's first appearance in the San Francisco Chronicle was in 1947. Until a few years ago, the oldest Australian lungfish was at the Shed Aquarium in Chicago. But that fish, named Granddad, died in 2017 at the age of 85. I'm sorry, by the age of 95. By default, Methuselah is the oldest, said Alan Jan, senior biologist at the California Academy of Sciences. And the fish keeper, Methuselah's caretaker, believes the fish is female, although it's difficult to determine the species' sex without a risky blood draw. The Academy plans to send a tiny sample of her fin to researchers in Australia who will try to confirm the sex and figure out the fish's exact age. Jan says Methuselah likes getting rubbed on her back and belly and has a mellow personality. I tell my volunteers, pretend she's an underwater puppy, very mellow, gentle, but of course if she gets spooked, she will have sudden bouts of energy, but for the most part, she's just calm, Jan said. And then Methuselah has developed a taste for seasonal figs. She's a little picky and only likes figs when they are fresh in season. She won't eat them when they're frozen, said Jeanette Peach, spokeswoman for the California Academy of Sciences. Organic blackberries, grapes, and romaine lettuce are rotated in her daily diet, which also includes a variety of fish, clams, prawns, and earthworms, said Charles Delbeck, curator of the museum's Steinhardt Aquarium. The Academy has two other Australian lungfish that are younger. Named for their sizes, medium arrived at the museum in 1952 and small in 1990. Both from the Mary River in Queensland, Australia, said Delbeck. They weighed about 25 pounds and 15 pounds, respectively. The Australian lungfish is now a threatened species and can no longer be exported from Australian waters. So biologists at the Academy say it's unlikely they'll get a replacement once Methuselah passes away. We just give her the best possible care we can provide, and hopefully she thrives, Jan said. So that's special fish right there. And so now we go to our top 10 list. What is our top 10 list about this time? It's the best classic films ever made. Went on a website to check it out and wrote some of these down. And so they may be your best classic films ever made, and they may not. And so we start out with number 10, The Godfather. Then we have number 9, The Women, made in 1939. And coming in at number 8, Psycho, which was made in 1960. Number 7, Citizen Kane in 1941. And number 6, West Side Story in 1961. Comes in at number 5 is Lawrence of Arabia, made in 1962. And then number 4, Breakfast at Tiffany's in 1961. Then, of course, Casablanca is number 3, made in 1942. And then I think these last two are probably some of the best classics that I think have been made. Number 2, we have Gone with the Wind, made in 1939. And then we have the number 1 best classic film ever made. It is The Wizard of Oz. And so that was made in 1939. And so there's our top 10 list, and now it's time to go to our trivia question. And of course, last week I asked, Pensacola is home to several historic and important old forts that are no longer in use. Which fort is not one of ours in the Northwest Florida area and in the Pensacola area? So the choices were A, Fort Pickens, B, Fort McRae, C, Fort Barrancas, D, Fort Morgan. And the answer of the fort that is not one of ours is Fort Morgan, D. And that's in Mobile. And so we've got a new trivia question about our area as well. We dealt with Pensacola last week, and now we're dealing with Pace, Florida. How did Pace, Florida get its name, and when did it come to be? It's the fastest growing community in Santa Rosa County, Florida. Pace is the western gateway to Santa Rosa County, Florida, with thousands of residents living in Pace, Florida 32571, and more pouring in daily. This unincorporated area within Santa Rosa County is Florida's most desired places to live. History buffs speak of William Barnett, who established Florida Town in 1821, the site of his lumber mill. And then the rich timberland fed the mill. The town name of Pace did not enter the picture until a certain date. I'll need you to give me the date. And then I'll need you to give you the person that opened the Pace Mill, which was in operation for 22 years. He was responsible for the Pace name. And so if you can give me the date and the guy who is responsible, I'll give you a shout out. And so we've got a rich history in Northwest Florida: Pace, Milton, Pensacola, Florida Town, Chumuckla, and all kinds of other places. And so this could be one of the places, late night talk, that we could talk a lot about the history of Pace and Northwest Florida and all these places. But it's now time once again. We have a short show this week, and so I thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you all here next week, next Thursday.